So we've got this plan to subsidise new jobs that may be on the way.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be very much a big spending budget. Not surprising there. Doesn't seem to be too much economic reform happening in October. That'll be put down the track, and perhaps that'll be an election issue on the sort of economy that Australia will have and the sort of broader economic changes we need. But as Scott Morrison said yesterday, it's all about increasing aggregate demand. And this wage incentive looks like, while JobKeeper was pretty much a rescue package about keeping people who had a job in their job, this will, I think, the government hopes help Australia through the next phase where employers can start hiring new employees again.
Almost like a continuation of JobKeeper to a certain extent, just under a different kind of form.
Well, it moves from being supporting people keeping people in their current job to then hoping that the business environment means that those subsidies are not needed as much, to now the incentives being needed to actually to get people off job seeker and off the dole queue into new jobs. So there's a change in emphasis about what sort of as I said, it goes from current employees to new employees. Yeah. So really, that's a signal that the government is expecting the economy to start picking up after the budget, which is optimistic.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more information. There'll be quite a few leaks, I would have thought, in the next couple of weeks to see how things go. Meanwhile, in the Financial Review this morning, like you said, spend. This is in the hope of getting infrastructure projects. So states will be getting billions of extra dollars to get infrastructure projects going.
That's it. And it sounds like according to this report, they're planning to stage it. So the government will say, we'll give you a bit now, but you've got to spend it straight away. And once you spend it, we'll give you a bit more. So obviously they don't want state governments to just, take the money and hold it for too long. They want this money in the economy straight away. So, it looks like it's going to be a deficit of more than $200 billion, which will be quite a sobering budget to hand down for Josh Frydenberg, considering he was the guy that was supposed to bring us back to the black.
Back in black.
Obviously the world is...
That's going to keep haunting him, isn't it?
The world is... Well, I think the lesson is that I actually don't think it will haunt him. I think they'll completely get away with that one. But I think the lesson is that saying you're back in black when you're not back in black is a dangerous thing, because anything can happen. Yeah. So they were saying they were back on black based on a projection, but they weren't there yet. And, this crisis no one could have foreseen happened, but, these things can happen.
So let's stay with the Financial Review. Interesting comments that have been picked up from Gladys Berejiklian, and she's basically said that among other things here, that you can't just take GST and not give anything in return. You've got to get businesses going, and by that she's meaning open up the borders, get things going on again.
Yeah, I reckon she will be in Scott Morrison's good books after this interview. It sounded like it was almost like his talking points. But she's made the point that Federation has to work better. That we're Australians first, and we're citizens of states second. And she thinks that some of her counterparts and other premiers have taken the sort of state parochialism too far. There's been, obviously, that state parochialism, particularly in states like Queensland and Western Australia, is popular. But she's made the point that, a lot of the state's funding is from the GST, which is collected by the Commonwealth. So there should be more of a view that we're all in this together as Australians. All right.